Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite _UK. Sign up to experience the drive and inspiration of sports.
In sports, there are moments that make us rethink everything we once believed to be certain. Watching the Scotland Rugby team in this year's tournament, I experienced many such moments. At first, looking back at the context after Scotland's heavy defeat to Italy in Rome, almost no one believed that the Scottish coach could lead his team back into the championship race. The atmosphere was filled with doubt, criticism, and even calls for dismissal. Many thought that extending his contract with the Scottish Rugby Union would be a mistake. Yet it is precisely in the moments that seem the most challenging that sports show us the power of perseverance and belief. I felt clearly that this story was not simply the journey of a team, it was a vivid demonstration that people can change their destiny if they do not give up. After the shock in Rome, the Scotland team seemed to enter an entirely different phase. They not only won against strong opponents but also displayed a fighting spirit full of courage.
I was genuinely impressed watching how they overcame tense matches, particularly in their victory over England and the continued growth when playing in Cardiff against Wales. These were not merely victories, they were signs that the team had learned something from the previous failures. I have always believed that failure is not the end. Sometimes, it is a necessary lesson for a team to recognize weaknesses and change. Looking at Scotland now, I feel that the painful fall in Rome made them stronger. They entered the match against France not only with the desire to win but also with confidence built from previous games. One of the things that impressed me most was the atmosphere the Scottish fans created before each game. The images of the team stepping off the bus to the cheering crowds, or the bagpiper standing atop the stadium, all created a very special feeling. When the traditional song played and fans sang the final part unaccompanied, it was more than a pre-match ritual. It was a symbol of unity, national pride, and a strong sporting spirit.
I think that in sports, team spirit can sometimes be just as valuable as tactics or skill. When a team plays with the belief of an entire community behind them, they can often achieve what seems impossible. The match against France was a prime example. Few people believed Scotland could score up to 50 points against a team chasing the Grand Slam. Yet it happened, and looking back at their combinations, I realized that this success was not luck. It was the result of careful preparation, serious practice, and meticulously designed tactics. One Scottish attack particularly impressed me. Instead of relying on the usual power play near the try line, they executed an unexpected combination. The ball was passed quickly, players moved intelligently, and a gap opened for the score. Watching this, I saw an important lesson. In life, following the usual path alone often makes it difficult to create something new. Creativity and the courage to try new approaches are what can change outcomes.
Beyond tactics, standout individuals contributed to this story. I was very impressed with winger Darcy Graham. He is not a physically imposing athlete, yet he possesses remarkable speed, agility, and finishing ability. His record-breaking scoring for Scotland shows that in sports, as in life, size or outward appearance is not everything. The return of Jack Dempsey also gave me much to think about. When news surfaced that he might miss the season due to a serious injury, many assumed his season was over. But through determination and effort, he returned to the field and played a key role in the team's victories. Stories like these are always deeply inspiring. They show that in elite sports, human will can sometimes be far stronger than the limits we imagine. However, to fairly assess a match, I also think it's important not to praise only one side while ignoring the other's effort. The French team, though defeated, had players who performed admirably. Some displayed excellent skills and fought until the very last minute.
What made me reflect most on the French team was not their defeat, but how they reacted under pressure. In the second half, as Scotland began scoring consecutively, panic seemed to creep into their play. Individual mistakes and rushed decisions made the situation hard to control. I think this is a very important lesson. In tense situations, the ability to stay calm and manage emotions often determines the outcome. A technically strong team, if lacking mental stability, can still collapse under pressure. What also made me ponder was the French coach's pre-match comments about the Murrayfield dressing room. It may have been a minor complaint, but in the fierce competitive environment of sports, words like that can sometimes motivate the opponent. From this, I drew a simple lesson: humility and focus on one's own work are often more important than seeking external excuses. When a team enters a match with complaints or a lack of respect for the environment, they may inadvertently give their opponents extra motivation. This year's tournament has shown the unique excitement of sports. No result is certain, and any team can create surprises. That is what makes sports beautiful. If everything were predictable, we would no longer feel the thrill and excitement of watching a match.
Reflecting on this match, I realized that sports not only provide entertainment. They also reflect many aspects of life: perseverance, teamwork, overcoming failure, and respect for opponents. For me, the greatest lesson is not to judge a person or a team hastily based on a single failure. Scotland proved that a team can rise strongly after harsh criticism, and that reminds me that in life, everyone deserves a second chance to prove themselves. Sports are not just about winning or losing. What matters more is the journey, the emotions we experience while following the team we love. I believe the values sports bring are highly significant. They teach us respect, fair play, and the importance of giving our all to achieve our goals. These values exist not only on the field but can also be applied in every area of life. I feel this is clear proof of the power of belief and unity. A doubted team rose and created one of the most memorable performances of the tournament. Personally, I believe that regardless of the tournament's final result, Scotland's journey during this period has left a very special mark. It reminds us that in sports, as in life, miracles can happen if people do not give up. And perhaps that is why I have always loved sports, because every match is not just a contest of scores, but also a story of determination, hope, and human resilience.
Thank you for being with us. Believe in determination, unity, and the impossible in sports.